the good cop, bad cop. Now, this negotiation tactic, I think most people have come across. Very often, the good cop, bad cop is used without any intent, so without people even planning to use this tactic. It gets used, very often in commercial negotiations. Of course, the intent or the plan behind using the good cop, bad cop is that one person would play the role of being, kind of the relationship-focused person and really interested in, trying to understand the interests of, your counterpart, while the other party plays the role of the bad cop and, is really focused on the task. And, what happens then very often is that, the tough negotiator or, the bad cop would be in the negotiation, push something really hard and will then leave. And then the good cop will position the fact that, look, whilst their counterpart is, fairly aggressive, etc., they are very reasonable, and if you agree with them, then they might be able to smooth things over with this bad cop. So it's a very manipulative tactic, and one that is most often 90% of the time used in competitive negotiations. So I would be very careful about using this tactic if it's your intent to be collaborative. It can be used in support of a compromising type of negotiation, but with due care. I would be careful so that I don't miscommunicate the fact that you are prepared to reach a compromise. So just make sure that if you use the good cop, bad cop tactic, that you use it to support competitive negotiations. Of course, how would you respond to the good cop, bad cop tactic if it's used against you? A good idea, that I've used is to just declare the fact that you're onto them, that you've seen it, and you don't want to do so, of course, in a confrontational way. But you might just say, look, just looking at you guys, it looks like Starsky and Hutch. Reminds me of the old kind of good cop, bad cop routine, And normally when you identify a tactic, if somebody's using a tactic and they think that you've caught them in the act of using the tactic, then they will disassociate themselves from it. They will just back right off it. So a good way to respond to this tactic, if it's being used, is to declare that you've identified the tactic.